What's up, Melanated family? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Melanated Combo Podcast. Happy to be with y'all today. I got a special guest on the show today that's going to drop some real game for y'all. Important conversation we going to have. But before I get to that, if you're listening to this on one of the digital platforms, I'm getting, a pretty large digital audience. Please do me a favor and not only download the show, but do me a favor and leave a review as well. So I'm happy that you guys are here. Also, if any of you guys ever want to watch the actual video of the interviews, then you can go to the Melanated Convo on YouTube and check that out. But nonetheless, I'm happy you guys are here listening to us. If you're listening or you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, any of the places that I put my show, please do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the Melanated Convo podcast, become a member of the family, as I say. You feel me? So on the show today, I got a brother who wrote an extremely intriguing book to me. Like, if all of us who grow up in urban communities, we know the difficulties of dealing with the allure of drug money, dealing with the allure of the underground, like being in environments where all of these things are readily available for you. You may not have your mom may be on drugs, that your pops may not be there. Like, this system has put us in a position where some of our brothers feel like this is the only way out. So on the show today, I got a brother named Moe Foe who wrote a book called Zebra. Now, in this book, Zebra, it's basically a newly released book by Gatekeeper Press. It serves up the frills and perks of a hustler's lifestyle. The novel also explores the stark reality that many longtime drug dealers face when they become wise enough to realize that they no longer want to walk that path, right? Now, this realization arrives painfully as those who've entered this profession as teens mature into men, start raising children, see the number of casualties rise amongst their friends, witness the effects of the drug culture on the community at large, and or understand the severity of stiffer penalties awarded to drug-related offenses. So again, if any of you guys grew up like I did, you were extremely familiar with individuals who was caught in this trap. So today we got the brother Moe Foe on the show who's going to talk about his book, and we're going to get into it. What's up, Moe Foe?
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. How you doing, brother?
No complaints, all is well, bro.
Definitely, definitely. So like I was just telling everybody, man, just the idea of writing a novel about, a lot of the things we go through in our community, and really that hustler mentality that says, okay, I'm good at this. Okay, this has been going well, but my morality starts to kick in a particular way where I say, wait a minute, I want stability. I want to be here 20, 30 years from now. How do I transition out of this, right? So tell me, like, let's just start off with what was like your motivation for writing the book?
Okay, well, the actual motivation was let me give you a background story about myself.
Hmm.
Uh, Native Washingtonian, born in Washington, D.C. in 1982. Been living in the area all my life. Uh, in my 20s, I was really ripping and running in the streets, really hustling, really dealing. You know what I'm saying? But I was still trying to get out the game, one foot in, one foot out,
Hmm.
as you hear the term. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, I was actually going to college, taking college courses for business, and I got arrested for a cocaine charge 2 months before I was supposed to graduate with a business degree. You know what
Oh
I'm
wow.
saying? Ended up spending majority of my 20s in prison. Came home about 6 months before my 30th birthday, and was home for about 4 years. Got a probation violation. Ended up going back in 2016, and my celly, my man Gotti, his name Yapa Church on IG. Go check him out. He was in the cell writing rhymes or whatever, and I'm just sitting back doing push-ups, doing nothing. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all like need to do something to take my mind out of it, because he was just busy, and I'm just sitting there doing nothing,
Mm.
just counting the days. You know what I'm saying? So I started just brainstorming or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Came up with a guy named Zebra or whatever, and just brainstormed the first chapter or whatever, and did a little something, read it to him. It's like he liked it or whatever. Wrote most of it while I was in. Came home about 10 months later and just sat it down. So when the pandemic came, that's when I picked it back up started editing, started doing this, doing that, reaching out to different publishers or whatever, because I let people just read it or whatever, just, you know what I'm saying, before I actually put it out. And they were like, you got a good product. Like, that's a really good book. You know what I'm saying? And the book's not based on my life whatsoever. It's just a character I created. But like I said, I did spend majority of my 20s in prison for possession of cocaine over 448 grams. Like, I was really out there. You hear me? Like, I wasn't, like, I could really write stories about the streets and stuff I've been through. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just like what made me want to do the book, like do something different. Like, I'm an older gentleman. Like I said, I was born in the 80s. Like, I'm pushing 40. I can't hop out there and write a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to do something different, show brothers a different way. And it's like, everybody that knows me actually knows me from the streets and dealt me, and they're like, they support it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, that's dope. A book. Like, my homie wrote a book. Like, they soaking it up. They really like it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I like the book. You know what I'm saying? It's the first book in a 4-book series. You know what I'm saying? This is part 1. Part 2 is the follow-up to this. Part 3 is a spinoff. And part 4 brings the whole series full circle. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little bit about myself in the book.
Interesting. So something I want to touch on real quick. You mentioned spending a large amount of time in the penitentiary. Like, talk to me about that experience, because I think some of the younger dudes who out here dibbling and dabbling never had to do that. So they're not aware of the harsh reality of the prison system and how they treat you in there, and how it seems to me like it's really mental. Like, you have to be a mentally strong person to be put in that situation and come out not crazy damn near. You know what I mean? So talk to me about your experience in jail. Like, how did that help shape the person you are today?
Well, I can attribute that to a brother in Baltimore. I haven't been able to get in touch with him since I've been home, but he was a Nation of Islam brother. I'm a Christian myself, but we still, you know what I'm saying, somehow linked. You know what I'm saying? He just said I drew him to him, like I was laid back. I didn't deal with anybody. He was the same way. So I helped him get a job in the kitchen, because I was like an ODR cook in the kitchen at the time, a big cook in the kitchen. So I got him a job in the kitchen, and we just walked the tier, walked the yard, and just talk about life. You know what I'm saying? I looked him in his eyes. He looked me in my eyes. We knew what we was about. Like, we from the streets, but he was an older man, so I listened to him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of running the yard with the youngins, I listened to him. And what he used to say to me, we wouldn't used to talk about religion. We talk about the streets. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't try to convert me Muslim. I wouldn't try to convert him Christian. We just try to talk like on some brothers type stuff, like get our mind right when we get out there. You know what I'm saying? Do something different. And something that stuck with me for years that he said, he was like, Brother Moe, you can't go back out there and cause mayhem, murder, death, and destruction, and think you're gonna sit with the prophets like Moses, King David, King Solomon. And me being a religious person, that struck me, because it's like, I can't just be the average gun-slinging drug dealer and think I'm gonna sit with these great men of God. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta change. But I gotta want that for myself. And it wasn't me being pressed out or people trying to make me join gangs or none of that in the jail. Like, I had no problems. I used to stay to myself, walk the yard, work out, read books, do stuff like that. But it was just the mental thing. Like you said, you got to be a strong person mentally, and jail job like almost broke me mentally. Like, I had to read a lot of books. I was never reading the books on the streets at all. I never thought I wrote. I'd never in my life think I'd write a book. You know what I'm saying? But in jail, that's what helped me. That's what like kept me from going insane. I could picture being on an island in Miami on a beach or something, you know what I'm saying? Because of a book. And that take me out of that situation right there, and I'm calm. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, jail's real. Like, for the youngins, you don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember sitting sometimes when I'd be on work release or road crew, picking up trash on the highway for pennies. and I'd be like, man, I'd give anything to just work a job at McDonald's right now. You know what I'm saying? Just at the end of the day, I can go lay with a woman. I can do what I want, go as I please. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making nothing, but I have to say so over my life. You know what I'm saying? Jill, you don't have no say so. I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? I've been seeing the biggest gang members have to do what some chump in a badge tells them to do. And you just gonna do it, or you going to lock up, or you know what I'm saying? Seeing people get stabbed, all kinds of stuff, jump. Like jail's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's real as the streets, but it's like it's not a place you want to be. You know what I'm saying? So if you can do something different, you got an opportunity to do something different. Like you were saying earlier, the lure of the streets pulls you in for a lot of youngins. I think when you in the hood in the streets and you don't have anything, you just want to have something sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like you just want to have something. And we as people got to figure out better ways of going about it. Like we don't tell each other about stocks. We don't tell each other about real estate. Marijuana is becoming legal in certain states. We should have our say so in our hand in the marijuana business, hands down, because a lot of our people are behind bars for petty charges. Weed that's legal now. You know what I'm saying? So we got to have our people know a different way so they can take a different route. You know what I'm saying? And that starts by each one teach one. Like
definitely.
Me personally, I've been trying to get into the real estate business, and it's like you got to know somebody in it, and then that person you know in it got to really want you to get some money in, because there's definitely money out in the real estate business. And a lot of brothers, instead of hanging on that block, you could own that whole block. You know what I'm saying? You can invest and reinvest in your community and build it back up. But you know what I'm saying? We need the people that's in the position to put those hustlers and those dealers and those people that actually want to make a change into those positions.
Definitely. I completely agree with that, brother. And I just always want to make sure that my young people understand like the systematic racism of our country like goes in a circle. You know what I mean? Because slavery is supposed to be abolished, but they got brothers in jail working for cents on the hour. You know what I mean? In these horrible conditions. And it seems like every time brothers go, if they're smart, they'll get to a point mentally where they be like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like I could be doing better with my life. You know what I mean? But I don't like that sometimes it takes some of our brothers to go through a whole bunch of shit to get to that point. So what do you think? Because you just spoke to it a little bit, but like, what do you think we can do for our youth, Moe Foe? Like, how can we take a young dude who got a mom who on dope, the pops ain't there, welfare's paying all the bills, so he see them Jordans, he know he can't get them Jordans, his mama can't afford them. You know what I mean? So how do you think we can help those young brothers get to a point where they say, look, no matter what goes on, I'm gonna go on a straight and narrow. Like I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna go get a lawnmower. I'm gonna do something that can make me like a productive citizen in society.
Don't want to be too preachy, but you gotta whoever you believe in, the higher power. I believe in Jesus. Like you have to touch into that higher power. You gotta know there's something bigger in yourself. You know what I'm saying? You gotta believe there's some type of hope out there, because in the streets, a lot of people don't have any hope. It's hopelessness out here. Like people losing jobs, people getting killed, people getting robbed. It's like it's no hope out here, and we gotta be able to show people it's hope. Tell them it's hope. Tell them it's a better way. You know what I'm saying? It's different things you can do with your life. People love you. You're special. You know what I'm saying? Like the simple things that, the simple things that we don't get every day. We need to start doing that more for our people. You know what I'm saying? Uplifting our people more. Like for instance, you're a see your hat says Crenshaw. So you're from the West Coast, right?
Yep.
DC. I'm having a hard time getting DC to get on board with a DC book, a DC story. So I've had people from the West Coast, I've had people from Ohio, New York reach out and are interested in doing podcasts and interviews and all kinds of stuff. But it's like we gotta be able to help each other and want to see each other win. You know what I'm saying? Not knock down your brother. In every hustle your brother's in, you don't have to be involved in it. Like I wrote a book, okay? You might be good at construction. This might be good at cutting hair or designing clothes. Tap into what you're good at doing. Because we all got God-given talents. We got to tap into our talents and do the best we can with our talents. Not try to knock other people's hustles or do what the other man do. You got to do your own thing. Figure out what works best for you. Like I've been trying to, like I said, I've been trying to do something different since before I caught my charge. So it's like, and then when I came home, I think that's another thing. It's like when I came home, I had to get a job because of that crazy PO. So it's like I had to put my dreams on hold actually because I had stuff I had to do or I was going back in. So it's like the cycle will have me, okay, well, let me get a little package and do a little something till I get the check or whatever. And it's like, because I'm not making nothing off the check. So we got to it's just like, it's so many factors, but it starts with us first. Like we got to want better for ourselves. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. You know,
our people have to have better opportunities as well, like better paying jobs, better schools, better living situations. All that comes into play.
Definitely. And it's interesting something you just mentioned because of how this system has like put us in the position we're in today. The crabs in the barrel mentality is real. And it seems like, unfortunately, the people that are around you begin to be the pariahs. So you just mentioned you trying to get something popping in DC, you trying to spread your message in DC, where you from, and you having a hard time. That happens so much that even comes to when we see a lot of our young rappers end up getting killed in the same neighborhood they from or the same environment they from. It seems like because we working under this programming, we'll see a brother who we've been seeing. I think that's where the hate comes from. When you know him, you know what he used to do, you know what he come from, right? So you get to comparing yourself to him. You see he writing a book, you see he just dropped a new album, it's working for him. You get to telling yourself, why can't I do that? Or I was better than him at that. I knew that dude back in the day, and he wasn't all this crabs in the bucket or all these crabs in the barrel type shit. When in actuality, like you saying, we need to work together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we can definitely accomplish way more working together than not working together. You know what I'm saying? Like like I said, I get a lot of good feedback from outsiders. Not to say DC don't love it. Like the people who are here who do know about it, they love it. But I've reached out to black-owned bookstores in DC, and you know what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say any names, but it's like they follow up on a conversation, anything. It's like before even reading the book, like I can understand, okay, that's not the type of direction we want our platform to go in or whatever. But not even reading the book and just shooting it down. So it's like, come on, we gotta do better for ourselves or better for our people. Like I'm a black brother that used to hustle and sell drugs. Like who to say that I'm not on my last limit? Like if this book don't work, then it's back. Excuse me. This book don't work, then it's back to the streets and I'm back to the hustle. And you know what I'm saying? Like
ain't that
give a brother a chance. Like I'm trying to do something different. You know what I'm saying? I think a book's very dope, very different way of doing things because like we got enough rappers. I think we need more thinkers in our community. You know what I'm saying? We definitely have a lot of great minds in our community, and we need more thinkers. You know what I'm saying? Need more writers, need more authors, need more artists, need more thinkers, just in general.
Yep. That's why I pride myself in my platform on speaking to brothers like you, because all too often, and I fell victim to this myself, living in a particular environment where the only options in my mind was doing what I see them dudes do in the corner or shoot this goddamn basketball. That was the only thing in my mind. Like my purview didn't allow anything else to come in. You feel me? So you writing a book, and this is the thing. Moe Foe, I talk to doctors, I talk to people who write books, I talk to people who are teachers, and these are black men who, if you've seen them in the street, they gonna look just like all the regular black men that you know. Like they ain't corny, they ain't funny looking, like they real cool brothers. It just so happened they doing something different. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
we have to do what's necessary to make going to school cool, make being an engineer cool, a construction worker. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Even a police officer, if you ain't gonna be on no coon shit, you know what I mean? The path you take can be vast, and that's why I'm such a big proponent of history, mofo. Because when we look back at history, we've done some great things, man, in every genre. Like this world waits for us to do things to kind of siphon our creativity and use the shit that we put out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely.
Definitely. So another thing I want to touch on real quick with you, and you having an insight on this, being a brother that was in the streets at one point in time, like what's the percentage? And this is just something I just thought about. What's the percentage, mofo, of brothers you see out there who are really about that life and committed to it, opposed to being a follower, like doing what they think is cool, doing what they homeboys think is cool. You know what I mean?
Um, the game messed up nowadays. It ain't what it was 10 years ago, ain't what it was 20 years ago. It definitely ain't what it was in the 80s. So it's like it seems like it keeps getting watered down. I remember an old head like told me back in the day, it's like what messed up the game for real is too many people be put in the game that wasn't supposed to be in the game in the first place. Like, okay, say I got a nephew. Now I know my nephew might be a knucklehead and mess up money all the time, but I got all the work. So you know what I'm saying? If I don't put nephew on, then auntie gonna be mad. So I put nephew on, knowing nephew will screw up. Nephew takes down the whole organization when he gets bumped. But I knew off top I shouldn't have put nephew in the game off top. You know what I'm saying? It's like that type of cycle. Like too many people be in the game that wasn't never supposed to be in the game, watered down the game, messed up the game. Because you know what I'm saying, the game's still out well. You go through any hood, neighborhood, there's people still out on the corner. So somebody's getting some money out there. Or why would they be there? I mean, I know that's your neighborhood, but there's some people still getting money, driving nice cars, chains, all that. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the game's so watered down that it's not worth playing. The risk is definitely not worth the reward anymore.
That makes a lot of sense. And it seems
And
like
to say it was at one point is wrong in itself because it's never worth that. You know what I'm saying? Like those years I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I never get those years back. And it wasn't worth the money that I had at that time because when I came home, I had thousands of dollars before I went in, six figures and stuff like that. Came home and didn't have it. So it was like, and I'm 6 years, you know what I'm saying? 6 years of my life done went by. So it's like,
wow. Okay, wait. So, that's interesting. So, what did you have to do mentally to put yourself in a? Because I think there's different variations of street dudes. Like you mentioned in how successful you have became, like on some real shit. Just everything I've seen, that don't happen a lot. Like you got a lot of dudes kind of right there in the middle. You got some dudes who really ain't even getting it like you think they are, right? But in your situation, if you are a brother damn near getting six figures on your own, like on some independent shit, we could talk about how selling drugs is a bad thing and all this, but these are actually business owners. This is actually a business owner. You know what I mean? So being in that situation where you doing so well for yourself, what did you have to tell yourself when you got home? Okay, I'm gonna work. Okay, I'm gonna take this fucking $12 an hour, $10 an hour. How did you have to train your mind to go knowing that I can make one phone call and get right back to where I was? So what did you have to tell yourself mentally to resist that temptation? You know what I mean?
it was an everyday struggle. I know, like I said, I ended up going back on a violation. You know what I'm saying? That was a different charge, but it's like to actually jump back there as deep as I was, it's like, nah, because I ended up getting, you know what I'm saying, going in for a confidential informant I was dealing with. So it's like the game's messed up. I can't trust nobody. The person I was dealing with, you know what I'm saying, in the whole situation ratted me out. So it's like, who can I trust if I can't trust the person I'm dealing with right here doing the, you know what I'm saying, the business with. You know what I'm saying? And I speak about my drug past because it's, you know what I'm saying, it's documented, it's public record. Like, it's not me saying I'm a convicted drug dealer is not, you know what I'm saying, a crime, because it's fact. Like, me actually doing it, no, I don't do it anymore, whatever. I'm all about trying to do stuff different. Like, you know what I'm saying, I sell cars on the side besides books, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do different stuff. But it was like I always tried to do a different hustle when I came home. I tried to promote parties, manage little rap groups and models, just try to do something different, try to find a different avenue. I was always trying to find a different hustle, the next, you know what I'm saying, wave, selling cars, just something different, you know what I'm saying? And I think my mother, you know what I'm saying, my mother was like a big part of it, because her eyesight started going bad years ago, and it was basically because of me. Because from what I understand, my sister and my father used to tell me she used to cry every time she'd come to see me, all the way up there and all the way home. And she, you know what I'm saying, she's doing that, like coming to see me like 3-4 times a month, and she's just crying for years, to the point where her eyes are swollen. And it just that took effect after years. Like, she could, her sight's not all that, but it's still good. But you know what I'm saying? Just that type of stuff right there. Like, I messed up my mother's vision from her crying and seeing her boy in prison. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, me writing this book, it's probably like the actually first thing in my life I actually did that made my mama proud. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was actually proud. You know what I'm saying? Not just faking it, not just saying it because she loved me or I was her son. Like, she was really proud of me. You know what I'm saying? That right there meant everything. You that right there, y'all, like, meant everything. So it's like, it's an everyday struggle out here, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, any slip, a cop having a bad day or anything, you know what I'm saying, could send you back. So it's like, you just gotta keep God first, stay headstrong, and just stay on the straight and narrow. And you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Just keep doing your thing.
And it's something important that you touched on that I want to talk about real quick. I think what a lot of people don't realize, like, if you in the street doing whatever you're doing and you end up getting locked up and you got people around that love you, instantly you're not the only one doing time. Your mama doing time with you, your brother doing time with you, your kids, if you got kids, like they're going through the trauma of you being in this cage too, whether they have to go see you caged up, whether they have to accept these phone calls where they listening to your shit and everything. Like, it's a debilitating thing that really, it affects the whole family. Like, when they put our men in jail, because I did I read a news article and did a story on my channel the other day, Moe Foe, about currently black men being the most unemployed individuals in the country. And they mentioned, like, we have like maybe 1 million less jobs as far as black men are concerned, opposed to an Asian man, a Mexican man, a white man. And what I told everybody I was talking to is it was designed that way. You know what I mean? Like, when we look at all our brothers in jail, all the brothers in jail who, like you said, for weed or assault or a shooting or something, but these brothers got 50 years and 60 years, like they trying to throw us away. You know what I mean? So it's important that the young dudes get a grasp of that. Of course, racism exists, but you can't put yourself in harm's way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah.
All right, now look, something else that I want to touch on with you. So, because you mentioned everything you've had to go through, and it's been like a day-to-day struggle of like staying on the straight and narrow. From the brothers that you know and everything you've experienced, like, what's the hardest part about transitioning for most of our brothers? Let's say it's a brother who didn't go to jail, who just getting money, tired of getting shot at, tired of having to go through shitty. Like, all right, I want to maneuver away from this. Like, what do you think is the hardest part for them to actually make that transition?
I think having a plan, like actually knowing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just be like, okay, I want to stop, I want to do something. All right, well, what you going to do different? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your plan? And people don't have a plan, or they come up with a plan and they're used to the instant gratification of hustling. So when it's not coming like that, like a business, like they'll tell you in school, like, In order to see a profit on the business, you might wait 2-3 years. The average hustler ain't trying to wait 2-3 years to see nothing. You know what I'm saying? They want it like that, and they're used to getting it like that. But it's like it's certain businesses that you can do that 3 or 4 months you can make a turnover, like real estate. You know what I'm saying? If you invest in real estate, doing property stuff like that, renovation of homes like that, 3 or 4 months you'll have a big wad of cash or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's like people don't have a plan or don't know how to go about it. Or like I said, they might have a plan, but they don't know who to contact to put the plan in. You know what I'm saying? Because if they've been doing nothing but selling drugs 10, 15, 20 years, they don't know how to start a LLC or write a business proposal. You know what I'm saying? They don't know the simple stuff that people need to know to start a business and do stuff different. So
definitely.
Yeah.
And it seems like for some brothers that I've seen, even on a basic level, because again, I'm not a street dude. I'm a self-admitted square, like a lot of brothers. I lived in the hood, but I didn't.
And there's nothing wrong with that, brother. There's nothing wrong with that at all. That's what we gotta see. There's nothing wrong with being a regular dude. It's nothing wrong with that at all. At all.
Yep. I preach that a lot because I know it's a lot of young men around me who got like 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and I can tell that ain't you. Like that ain't even your mentality. You're gonna end up getting hurt out there having 1 foot in or 1 foot out, or telling on somebody when the shit get real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely. So something else I want to touch on real quick, like a lot of times in our neighborhood, it seems like we glorify kind of what me and you was just talking about right now. We kind of glorify the drug dealer. We kind of glorify some of the negative things going on because this is all we see. You know what I mean? How do you think we kind of move away from that? Like just being, because I'm 41, about to be 42 as well. Like what can we do as men that are getting kind of older? Because again, sometimes it seems like, Moe Foe, if you in the hood talking to some of these young niggas, if you're not a certain type of dude, they don't want to listen to you. Like if you ain't a street dude or someone they can inspire to be in that regard, it seems like they don't want to hear what you got to say. But what can we do to kind of make sure they understand like the path they going down?
What I try to do is like, it's a lot of youngins that didn't know me from prison, and it's like I try to talk to the ones that might have heard about me or might have known a little bit or just willing to listen. It's always at least one is willing to listen.
That's true.
And that one, like, you know what I'm saying, that might be the only one you change, but that one right there is worth, you know what I'm saying, it's worth it all, because that could be a lost life that you done changed, you done saved, you know what I'm saying? And it's always one. I think sometimes a lot of older dudes like myself would be like, them youngers be lunching. Like, I'm not dealing with them. They wild. But at one point, we was the same youngers that didn't nobody want to deal with, that didn't nobody want to talk to. If somebody had to talk to us, sit us down, say something to us, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Even
true.
if it was just a peer of ours, someone talked to us and said something to us. It was like, we don't talk to each other no more. We're so aggressive with each other. Like, we got to be able to listen to each other, and you know what I'm saying, not in the aspect where you got to do what I say, but you know what I'm saying, at least hear a brother out. Like, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying or my point of view or nothing, but at least hear what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? It might benefit you, it might not, but it won't hurt to hear what the brother got to say. You know what I'm saying?
But I think we can, if we want to see like our community improve as a whole, we can never give up on them. Like we always have to figure out ways to communicate them with them. If you just want to be in the hood talking to them, if you want to start a program that can help them out, if you know whatever your field is, like whatever you're good at, or you can use to benefit our youth, that's definitely necessary because they dying younger.
Yeah.
A lot of our neighborhoods are getting worse, damn near. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man.
Definitely. So becoming a writer, like, because I'm in a space now, Moe Foe, where I'm using like my intellectual property to put in front of people. Like that's a different type of thing when you take what you think and what you write and you present it to people to basically critique it. Once it's out there, it's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how has that been being a writer? Because you was telling me some of the feedback you've been getting, but just knowing what you've came from, like the journey you had to take to get to where you at, it has to be kind of gratifying, right? To know that your intellectual property is being enjoyed by the masses. You know what I mean?
Man, it feels dope to be a self-published black author. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
self-published. Like I did this my own self. Like I didn't go through no big publishing company or nothing. Like all the marketing and stuff like that, I do it myself out of pocket. Everything when you see on my Instagram or my Facebook or whatever, this person or that person reposted, that's coming out of pocket. But I appreciate every single person because, like I said, it's people who don't support, it's people who don't want to get behind the movement. I get a lot of good feedback. I try not to listen to the bad feedback, but with good it comes bad, you know what I'm saying? But
mm-hmm.
I think the most gratifying thing is the people is like, well, where's book two? I'm worried for part two. It's like they're
There we go.
so into the first one, they're ready for the second one as soon as they finish the first one. So it's like it feels good to be an author. It's different. Like it's still kind of, you know what I'm saying, different than me to say I'm a published author and I
Yeah,
have a book that you go down Library of Congress and it's right there. But it definitely feels good, you hear me? Like, no question, it's a definitely good feeling. Yeah.
definitely. So some other things I want to touch on before we get out of here. And again, I appreciate you coming on the show, brother.
I appreciate you
Everybody,
having me, brother. Really
definitely. This
do,
is
man.
Moe Foe, author of the novel Zebra. It seems like Zebra is a tale about a brother who's pretty much trying to get out the street, trying to figure out a way to maneuver away from some of the ills of our community, which is definitely a good thing. Some brothers end up trying too late or they end up losing their life or getting 50, 60 years. And I think a part of my platform is always just trying to empower people, trying to empower our people, let them know they can try things a different way. Like in my opinion, Mofo, the dudes in the street, like the brothers in the street who willing to do whatever they got to do to make it, whether that be hurt you, whether that be sell, whatever. This to me, this is like the warrior class of black men. Like the mentality a lot of these brothers got, we need them on the front line just in case some shit go down one day. Right? Like we have brothers who are smart and went to college and they kind of square like me and they got that perspective. You good at that. But if it when it come time to getting violent, if it come time to us going to war as a black community, we gonna need the brothers that's willing to go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. No question.
You know what I mean? So that's why I'm like I look at black people. To me, we're all one. Like I
Yes,
don't separate you based on how much money you got, based on the fact that you live in a hood and maybe I don't know more. I don't do none of that shit because when we get pulled over, when we get in a position where we in front of these people, they see us all the same way. You know what I mean?
no question. No question.
Definitely. Now, what are some of like, because you mentioned some of the things you seen while you were in prison, but I want young people just to understand how serious it is and how much it should be avoided. Like, what are some of the craziest things you saw while being in that environment? Something that made you say, fuck this. Like, this is it. Once I get out of here, I ain't never coming back here.
Uh, Endless stuff. But gang fights, stabbings, people getting their head bust wide open with a lock and a sock, people just getting jumped for no reason, robbed, all kinds of stuff. COs jumping people,
Mm-hmm.
fucking them up for no reason. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's just a mental thing. You eating garbage, you showering in dirty environments. Like, there's no privacy, it's no peace, it's always noise. That's the thing about prison. If you're a person that likes peace and quiet, you're not getting that in prison. It's always noise. It might be somebody singing in the middle of the night. It might be a fight. It might just be the TV. It's just always noise in prison. Like you won't get a quiet moment. You won't get a moment to yourself. It's like draining. It don't. It don't make. It don't make you want to commit a crime ever again. But when you get out, it's like your mind frame, certain people's mind frame change. But some things I used to hear some people say in prison is like, I got like one or two more bits in me. And they're currently doing a bid. And it's like, dang, you already programmed that you're coming back two more times before you want to say, nah, I've had enough of this. And it's like, people saying it's like 30, 40 years old. It's like, okay, when you quit, you're going to be 60. What you going to do then? It's like, man, nah. I mean, me personally, that ain't the place for me. That ain't the place for nobody, for real. But you got to know that ain't the place for you. It's all right to change your life. It's all right to do something different. You in it. Because that place ain't for nobody at all. You don't want to be there at all.
And this country sends our brothers to prison because in the prison system right now is somewhere between like 50 and 60% of these individuals are black and brown, right? So they send our brothers to these institutions and it's supposed to be some level of rehabilitation involved in that, but it never seems like that's the case. It never seems like it's, and a lot of dudes I know that was successful on the street and they had the same mentality you was just talking about, where I got a couple more bids in me. When they got home, they were actually better criminals. And he had to sit me down and explain to me, bruh, everybody around me was somewhat proficient. A lot of people around me was proficient in the crime of their choice, right?
Definitely. Definitely.
So,
You might be somebody that knows how to do bank fraud, knows how to do bank robberies, like all types of master criminals that just slipped up at one point and
yep.
now they're doing a bid. But that be their profession. Like they break law for a living. And a lot of people come home from prison worse than they was because you got so much information. You know how to rob a bank. You know how to case a joint. You know how to do all kinds of stuff that you ain't know how to do like before. You know what I'm saying? Because you got all the info. You got a library of information from people who's actually experienced it. They'll let you read their paperwork and show how crazy they was, how, you know what I'm saying, how violent and wild they was. And the job like is alluring to, you know what I'm saying, people that want to keep doing that. But me myself, it was job like, man, this ain't for me. Like I like my peace of mind. I like to do what I want to do. I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in a dorm setting, so it's a person to the left of me, person to the right of me, person in front of me, person behind me. And you got gang members all around, you got the Muslims around, and it's just fights, it's all kinds of chaos. Like I said, it's noise all the time. It's just like, man, that ain't where I want to be. At night, I like to go in my bed, lay down. If I want to call a female over, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be wasting years away because I done did years and years in prison. Can't get that time back. You know what I'm
You
saying?
can't get
So
that time
youth,
back.
all the youngins, y'all just like need to figure out a way to do something different because jail is definitely not the way. You hear me?
Man, look, because time, and I've been telling people this all the time is the only commodity you can't get back. You can get back
Yeah.
money, you can get another relationship, you can get another car, another house. Time is the only commodity you can't get back. And then I feel bad for brothers sometimes because the world changes so much that you can go do 10 years and you get out here, and I'm sure you feel like you don't know what's going on. The
Oh
technology
yeah.
is different. The neighborhood you grew up in, it's different stores and shit everywhere. You seem like a fish out of water, and they expect you just to they throw you back on the street and expect you just to jump back into it.
Yeah, it's definitely a culture shock. It was a culture shock for me when I came home. Like things change. It's more fast paced. You know what I'm saying? You gotta learn just the way of the world all over again. Like I had to learn how to drive a car, and I've been driving since I was 15. You know what I'm saying? I
Really?
came home almost 30 and really ain't know how to drive a car no more because I haven't drove a car in years when I came home. You know
Damn.
what I'm saying? So it's like,
Damn.
yeah, it's
We
a culture shock for a lot of people, and it's hard for a lot of people to adjust. So a lot of people will just go back. Like those people that do a lot of those long 10, 20, 30-year bits, they come out and they end up crashing because they don't know nothing but prison. You know what I'm saying?
That's it's so funny you say that because some of those things to people may seem kind of simple, just not being able to drive no more, not knowing how to use a cell phone. But I'm sure for somebody who just came from this traumatic ass environment. Now you got a PO on your ass, and you got to live with your mama or live whoever would accept you to come home. It has to be a difficult thing, like for you mentally. And on us, like a smaller note, when I was a younger dude, I remember my cousin, and as I got older, it hit me why he felt this way. My cousin, he had just did like 9 years, and my brothers and them went to get him, and he was in the car, and on the freeway, he couldn't look out the window. And they asked him, like, why you like shying away from the window? He like, dude, I ain't been in the car in 9 years. I feel like throwing up.
Yeah.
Everything moving too fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn. You don't even think about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a traumatic environment to put someone in, especially for selling drugs or doing things that, I mean, this young man just didn't have opportunities. So he needed a job. Like, I think they were saying with the amount of money that they make and they spend to put people in prison, they can take those same funds and put them into college.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? They can take that same amount of money and put resources into the person's community. You know what I mean?
They definitely could, but it's a system. Like, they don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yep.
They don't want to do that.
Because if they did, they would already. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. So that's why I salute what you're doing, brother. You could have, like we was just saying, you could have went back to your old lifestyle. You could have said, fuck all this straight and narrow shit and got to it again. I commend you for being strong enough and having the mental fortitude to say, nah, I'm gonna go in this direction. You feel what I'm saying? So
Thank you, brother. Yeah.
I wish you much success with your books, bro. When you write another one, I want you to come back and we'll talk about that.
No question.
You know what I mean?
Man, I'm gonna holler at you as soon as that jump about to come out. I'm gonna let you know, and yeah, we do it again. Chop it up, man. It's a pleasure, brother.
Definitely, because this is important, man. Like you was just saying, we gotta big each other up. Like we gotta salute each other. It's nothing wrong, you know, because being someone who is in like a creative space right now, where I'm trying to make money from what I'm doing, I'm trying to figure things out. People don't understand. If you hit your boy one day and say, "Hey, bro, I see what you're doing. Keep on going," that's like golden. You didn't give me no money. You didn't give me no resources, but just acknowledging that I'm doing something that's powerful and I should keep doing it.
No
like
question.
That level of encouragement, that could be all you need sometimes.
It definitely do.
You know what I mean?
Do, man. It definitely keeps you going. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps. You know what I mean? So I want to thank everybody for tuning into another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast, where we have important conversations. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation. When we don't know things, when we're having problems with people, sometimes all we got to do is communicate and forge some sort of conversation. So I appreciate talking with this brother today. Moe Foe, tell everybody where they can get your book.
You can get it in Barnes and Noble. You can get it at Amazon.com. It's online. I got my social media handles right there. You can follow me, Instagram, Facebook. But again, the books, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com. Yeah.
Definitely. So y'all hear that? The boy is everywhere. You know what I mean? You can walk right in the store and grab that thing, or you can go online like we'd like to do and get that thing. And when you buy the book, because I also tell people a lot, Moe Foe, on Instagram and just on social media, sometimes we spread a lot of bullshit. Like a negativity is going on. We all for it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to spread positive shit. If you read this brother book and you learn something from it, do a little video about that.
No question.
Post the book cover and say, "Hey, y'all, everybody who follow me, go check this book out. This brother deep." You know what I mean? Like, use our platforms to big people up, to be empowering. Sometimes we be too deep into what celebrities is doing, or who the hell twerking, or who the hell fighting, and all of us got something in us that we enjoy that shit sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the majority of your time should be spent building. The majority of your time should be spent figuring out ways to make yourself better and your community better. So this has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. Again, thank everybody for tuning in. If you listen to the digital platforms, please leave a review. That's Spotify, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Facebook has a podcast section now. My thing been on there popping. So please do me a favor and leave a review. Tell all your friends about it. You know what I mean? We do a show once a week. If you're watching the video, please subscribe to the Melanated Convo YouTube channel. Become a member of the family. This has been another episode of the Melanated Convo podcast. We out.